is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Cardinals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Back in the Gateway City as we kick off a 6-game homestand. It's the first of 3 against the Atlanta Braves. All 3 games right here on Fox Sports Midwest. A familiar face back in the lineup for the Cardinals. He will play second base here tonight. Bat leadoff, and that is Matt Carpenter. Jim Hayes is here. That's the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to St. Louis Cardinals baseball. We know the offense has been very good from day one of this season for the Cardinals. Now it gets a boost. Moss is healthy, and Matt Carpenter back in the lineup.
Boy, he's been out for a month, and his numbers represent one of the best seasons in all of baseball. He's having a remarkable year for a leadoff man, but he's also having a great season for an MVP contender. And having him back in the lineup is a real shot in the arm.
His numbers presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. So Carpenter back in the lineup. He'll bat leadoff. And we've got baseball coming up. The Atlanta Braves, the St. Louis Cardinals. Nice to be back home on Fox Sports Midwest. stand. It starts with the Atlanta Braves. 39-69. Last in the National League East. They don't score a lot. They give up a lot. 3 players to know about. Matt Kemp, acquired from San Diego, leads their team in home runs and RBIs. Freddie Freeman, a mainstay in the middle of their lineup. And Jim Johnson has converted his last 5 save opportunities. You want more information about the Braves? Lowest winning percentage in baseball out is Freddie Gonzalez. Brian Snitker is the interim manager. Julio Teheran is on the DL, 2.81 ERA. The other 12 starters combined ERA is over 5. Get you caught up a little bit with the Atlanta Braves as we're just about set for our first pitch and starting lineups. Game 1 of 3 coming up. Tonight and playing second base for your St. Louis Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. Please drink responsibly. By Chevrolet. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Muggy night, but temperatures have cooled a little bit with the rain in the area. Mostly cloudy, 84 degrees here at Busch Stadium. Jim Hayes, Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin with you. Final meeting between the Braves and Cardinals, first of 3 of this weekend series. A look at the Braves lineup here tonight. A lot of new faces from the first time that we saw them. Ender Inciarte, Gordon Beckham, and Freddie Freeman here in the first. Recently picked up Matt Kemp. He's 1 for 10 wearing that Braves uniform. Adonis Garcia, Jeff Francoeur, Anthony Recker, Chase d'Arnaud, a former first-round pick of the Phillies, and Joel De La Cruz. Now, Ender Inciarte has been a bright spot recently, the leadoff man for the Atlanta Braves, riding a 15-game hitting streak. Also, Carlos Gonzalez of the Rockies with 15 to lead the National League. And he is red hot, 11 for his last 19. So that could be a key player in this lineup tonight for the Atlanta Braves. Jaime Garcia, start number 22, coming off a rough start in which he worked on short day's rest against the Marlins over the weekend. 6 runs in 3 1/3.
He's got an extra day rest today, and of course you need to get back in the winning ways. Garcia has not won in his last 5 starts. He also, in his last 3 starts, has not gotten through the 6th inning. That's a real key today.
And the first pitch is taken for a strike, and we are underway. The field is beat up just a little bit because of the soccer game back on the 1st of August. See still some of the lines, the chalk lines for the out of bounds area. 16 game hitting streak for Ender Inciarte. So some of the grass has actually been replaced. You can see that there with Matt Holliday, a darker shade of that grass replaced. That was the goalie area for the soccer game a few days ago.
Yeah, one of the things you always worry about is the mound, but the mound was not in play, so there nobody really was touching the mound or altered that in any fashion. What is it with Jaime with the first batter of an inning? Really struggled in that department, and early in the 1st inning getting outs.
And it's such a key because when he retires the first batter, the ERA in those innings this year 1.51. If he doesn't, it's close to 9. So get that first man out in an inning. He has retired only 59% of first hitters in an inning, and that is the 3rd worst percentage in Major League Baseball. The Hyundai pitch arsenal: fastball, change, cutter, and curve for Jaime Garcia.
And Dan, you can also carry at a 367 average on pitches 1 through 15, 8th worst in the National League. Sometimes you make a guy aware of those numbers, and then they can really work on it, concentrate a little harder. But we all know too that if he gives up a single, he has the ability to get that ground ball double play.
Gordon Beckham, longtime White Sox second baseman, played third base as well. He is from the Atlanta area, played at the University of Georgia, so back in his hometown. The 1-1 pitch. This will be a little bit of a balancing act that we talked about yesterday for Mike Matheny in terms of the addition now of Brandon Moss and Matt Carpenter. So it comes at the expense of others, and tonight it comes at the expense in terms of second base. There's Carpenter of Colton Wong.
Well, you would like to have Carpenter play one set position, but I think it's going to be a revolving door.
Hit to third, backhanded by Jerko. Out there, on to first. It's a double play. I wonder if the Braves will take a closer look at this to see if Carpenter, that neighborhood play, you have to be on the bag, if indeed he was touching the bag when he received the baseball.
Scarp was missing for a month. There you see Brian Snitker, the interim manager, and apparently they agreed that he was on the base. But, you know, ideally, Carpenter would like to stay at second base or third base. But I think you kind of got to see who's hot around him, and you got a very versatile player. You can shift him around.
The Braves had vowed that there were two players they would not trade, and this is one of them, Freddie Freeman, the other being pitcher Julio Teheran, who is on the DL.
Last year he really struggled against left-hand pitching. That is something that he has always done in his career, Freddie Freeman, but this year he's hitting .306 against left-handed pitching. But what's really uncharacteristic is he's only batting a little bit over 200 with runners in scoring position, where he's always been one of the toughest.
He's a good player.
Very good player, and that's why they're going to build around him.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Freddie Freeman. See Piscotty and right. That's about as deep as he'll play for any left-handed batter. Freeman as deep as you can get on that side of the batter's box. And the 1-2 pitch. He struck him out. Molina will tag him. There's the out. And Garcia gets a little help from his defense with the double play. Cardinals coming up in the home half of the first. finishing up his warm-up tosses. So Matt Carpenter leads it off. Nice reception as he's back in this lineup, followed by Greg Garcia, then Stephen Piscotty. Moss will bat cleanup, then Matt Holliday drops down to the 5th spot. Yadier Molina, Jed Jerko, Jeremy Hazelbaker, Jaime Garcia. Well, De La Cruz making his 4th career start. He does not have overwhelming stuff, but he will attack the strike zone with what the Braves feel is a pretty good sinker.
Yeah, I mean, his last time out, he went 4 1/3 innings and then ran out of gas. Didn't have a strikeout in that game. You know, he's 10 years of professional baseball. Originally signed with Milwaukee. Signed as a 6-year minor league free agent with the Braves. And with the Braves right now, you get a chance. You're going to be in the pitching staff in the big leagues for his first time around.
1 ball, 1 strike on Carpenter. Last played on July 6th. Cardinals went 14-10 when he was out.
Here are those numbers. Still 988 OPS. It's tied with Votto for the top on-base percentage in the National League.
3rd best in baseball, and that's what you think about with a leadoff man, and we've talked about it a lot. Carpenter is a unique leadoff hitter because of the combination of on-base percentage and power, not really speed, and his on-base percentage is .420, 3rd best in all of baseball.
And last year he led the ball club with home runs and RBIs, and he's got a chance to do the same thing again, but he'll have to catch up a little bit after missing the month. Wouldn't put it past him, though.
Nope. Here's a 1-2 taken high. He did have 4 rehab games at Springfield, went 4 for 12 with a home run.
I think everybody associated with the ball club was very happy with his patience. A guy that, you know, is the gym rat that always trying to work harder and harder. You have to be patient with that oblique strain.
And he waves at it and strikes out. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs. Matt Kemp is in left, Ender Inciarte in center, Jeff Rancourt is in right. It'll be Garcia, d'Arnaud on the left side of the infield, Beckham and Freeman on the right side. Anthony Recker is behind the plate. Cardinals, the road trip started out so well, 4-1. The team ERA was about 3.5, but the last 5 games on that trip, 1-4. The relievers gave up 10 runs in those 5 games.
But you know what? It was really the ineffectiveness of the starters.
Garcia rips it out to center, and on the move and making the catch, Ender Inciarte.
Inciarte, you talk about how hot his bat is, but he's an outstanding defensive player too.
Brings in Stephen Piscotty. Inciarte was part of the Shelby Miller deal with Arizona. They also got Dansby Swanson, who is the #1 prospect in their system, former #1 overall pick.
Very happy with him also.
So 2 outs, nobody on, and a strike to Piscotty.
Piscotty had really his first tough road trip. Just 3 for 28. Did have a home run, but had a couple days off to try and get a mental break. Strikeouts were piling up, and as you said, De La Cruz, not his strength, get a lot of strikeouts, but he will attack the strike zone, and he's got that sinker, so look for some ground balls. Also has a changeup. He was called up twice to the big leagues and didn't make an appearance.
Right. The 0-2.
Was initially going to be working out of the bullpen. Did have 7 outings out of the bullpen, and then they decided that, hey, all of our starters are going down, trade some at the deadline, and now all of a sudden they said let's put him in the rotation, and he's making his 4th big league start.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Pulled foul. 2006 made his pro debut, rookie ball for the Brewers. He was 17. Then he bounced around in 2007-08. rookie ball for Washington in 09. From 2010 through 2015, he was in the Yankees organization, but never pitched in the show. And then finally, 10 years after his pro debut, getting a chance here with the Atlanta Braves at the age of 27. The 1-2 pitch, fouled back.
And they've used 13 different starters this year, the Braves. Currently have 3 starters on the disabled list. They were going to bring up one of their top prospects, Aaron Blair, to make the start on Saturday, and he throwing a side session on Wednesday, hyperextended his knee, and he's on the disabled list at AAA.
1-2 pitch, base hit. 2-out hit, Stephen Piscotty. Our BJC Healthcare difference maker to follow up on what Al was just talking about. The Braves, 13 different starters, tied for second most in the big leagues. The Cardinals with just 6 different starters, and that was only because of the doubleheaders.
Right, and then tomorrow the Braves will go for their 14th different starter. There was some talk that they would maybe sign Kyle Loesch, who has just refused assignment to the AAA for the Rangers. But they have decided to give the start to Roberto Hernandez.
The artist formerly known as Fausto Carmona.
Exactly. I don't know if he was in a witness protection plan or what, but why he changed his name.
So we may see him tomorrow.
He is scheduled. Schnichter told me that's a starter for tomorrow.
Here's an 0-1 pitch to Moss. We had the fedoras on earlier, Al and myself, and well, it just took us back to our younger days, working together in a couple of those flashback games that we did.
You were quite handsome.
Really were.
You remember those games where we did like about the 30s dressed up in the old days?
I found a picture of us wearing those the other day.
Bury it.
Here's the 0-2. Little tapper that stays fair. And Moss is tagged out by De La Cruz. Cardinals strand a runner. We move to the second, and there's no score from Busch Stadium here in St. Louis. Second, one hit aside. The return of Matt Carpenter, the big story tonight. With more on that, there he is, Jim Hayes.
Dan, Matt told me, quote, "It feels like forever since I've been out here." Buddy said he felt great and he was looking forward to getting back with his teammates and trying to help them win some games. He missed the 24 games with that right oblique and told me the rehab was no fun. Quote, The first thing they tell you with that kind of injury is don't do anything for a while. That was hard for me. He says the positive side of that is he got a lot of rest, which he's hoping will make him stronger the rest of the way. He's at second base tonight. However, he said he told Mike Matheny he's willing to play wherever they need him for that night, whatever helps them win. And Dan, he says when the Cards were on the road, he watched every inning of every game on TV.
Uh-oh. Hopefully we were nice to Matt Carpenter. Jimmy, how about some of the other guys that have been banged up? And I think one of the surprising stories here at the ballpark today, Jordan Walden.
Yeah, Jordan was back in St. Louis today to throw a bullpen for the Cards coaching staff. He's still not throwing at full intensity or using all his pitches, but he says he hopes to be back with the Cardinals at some point in September. We'll have to wait and see on that. Aledmys Diaz on the DL with that fracture in his right thumb. John Mozeliak told me they have given Diaz the week off. Then he'll start working out in Jupiter beginning next week. Also, per Jen Langosh of MLB.com, Aledmys and his wife Diarra just had a baby Nathan. So congratulations to them.
All right, thank you, Jimmy. Little chopper hit to the right side. There is Brandon Moss. Good to see Trevor Rosenthal. Jim will have an update on him coming up later in our telecast, talking there with Adam Wainwright. So Kemp flies out to left. Garcia grounds out to first, and it brings in longtime major leaguer Jeff Francoeur.
From the Atlanta area, and good to see Jeff, one of the real good guys in the game. And it's at 357. Excuse me, 287 against left-handed pitchers this year.
And he will swing at anything. He is a free swinger.
Yeah, Nick Markakis with the lefty on the mound. He sits this one out at the start. And with Francoeur's success against left-handed pitching, gets a chance.
Jeff has bounced around after he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Cardinals defensively, Holiday, Hazelbaker, Piscotty in the outfield, Jerko, Garcia, Carpenter, and Moss along the infield, and Yadier Molina behind the plate. Around the horn presented by Dobbs. Put one in the dirt, and he may swing at it. No balls, 2 strikes. Late call, and Francoeur is caught looking. He can't believe it. Second strikeout for Jaime Garcia. Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. You can see every out-of-market game live in high definition on over 400 supported devices. All you have to do is visit MLB.tv for details. Matt Holliday will lead it off. He's our Kia in the driver's seat, or at least a part of this. Cardinals hitting home runs in bunches Most players with 10 or more home runs. Those are the teams with the individuals that have double figures. St. Louis, Seattle, 6 teams tied. So Holliday is batting 5th for the first time this year. Last time that happened was June 30th of 2013. This is not foreign to him, though. He's had 327 plate appearances, batting in the 5th spot of the lineup. But that primarily happened early in his career.
I was going to say early when he was with Colorado when he just crushed, hit almost 500 against Cardinal pitching.
Here's a 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes.
Matt has hit well, just shade under 300 on the road, but struggled at home, and there's no rhyme or reason for that. No rhyme or reason for the club to be 5 games under 500 at home this year.
2-0 the count. Big gap in left center. And the 2-0. Cardinals, and we've talked about it, they've never had a losing record at home at this ballpark since 1913. There have been only 13 years total the Cardinals have been sub 500 at home. 13 total. Inside, and he walked him on 4 pitches. A look at our Toyota keys to the game.
Well, it's very important for Mike Matheny to get Jaime Garcia to go deep in this game. The last 3 starters have not gotten an out in the 5th inning. And just having Carpenter back, we just had the trade deadline. You couldn't make a trade that would be big enough to equal the lineup getting Carpenter back in it, along with Moss and Peralta. So let's just get the real kick in the arm, and with the Atlanta Braves and then Cincinnati coming in this homestand, let's see if the Cardinals can't win all 6 and get back over 500 at home. I don't think that's unreasonable.
Not at all. Here's Yadier Molina. He has reached base in 17 straight. It's not a hitting streak, but at least a reached base safely streak of 17. League leader right now, Jason Worth of Washington, with 35 straight games.
Yadi, one of the few Cardinals that had a real good road trip. He hit .414 and a home run on that road trip.
Here's an 0-1 pitch to Yadier Molina. High fly ball into shallow left. There's Matt Kemp. Under it, makes the catch. 1 down. And Holliday back to the bag at first, and it brings in Jedd Gyorko. Well, the Cardinals continually to talk about Jedd Gyorko here in the second half, even when he's making outs, and the quality of his at bats. So he gets another start here tonight, and that puts Jhonny Peralta on the bench.
I don't think Peralta's 100% yet. Just really doesn't have his timing with the 2 different times he was on the disabled list. He'll get it back going, but right now Gyorko's playing very good defense and he's hitting.
First pitch to him. Saw that shot of Peralta. The hand and the thumb is still bandaged up, and he hurt it the second time on a swing. Originally hurt it in spring training, going deep in the hole and kind of sliding on that thumb, and that's when the issues came up.
Looked so innocent at the time, didn't it?
Here's an 0-1 pitch. If he doesn't injure the thumb, do we know about Aledmys Diaz?
Exactly. Good point.
It's a tough game. Somebody goes out, and sometimes that allows someone else to shine.
Yeah, and of course, where Diaz was hit on his thumb, that's probably going to take a little longer than what you would normally think. But that thumb is so important.
Here's the 0-2 pitch to Gyorko. On deck, Jeremy Hazelbaker. Big crowd here tonight. We're expecting over 44,000 here tomorrow, and well over 40,000 on Sunday. All 3 games right here on Fox Sports Midwest. 1-2 as a fly ball lifted to Kemp. Backs up a few steps. Makes the catch.
How about the Cardinals in that first week of the season? They went to Atlanta. They swept the Braves. And they outscored them 31-13 in the 3-game series. But the Cardinals hit 6 home runs, including the Major League record night where they had 3 rookies hit home runs pinch hitting in the same inning. Hazelbaker was one of those too, right?
He was. Ledmus Diaz, Greg Garcia.
Little did we know then that that was going to be this type of team with all the home runs.
At that time, Hazelbaker started to play a little bit more. We opened up the season here at home. He had a remarkable opening day against Milwaukee. But here's what we're talking about as we flash back in that sweep. April 9th seems like an eternity ago. A cool night in Atlanta. Hazelbaker, Diaz, and one more for good measure, Greg Garcia. First time ever in Major League history we had ever seen that.
Of course, it'll never happen again at Turner Field. Into their new ballpark next year.
Ballpark was built for the Olympics in the mid-90s, and now they're moving to Cobb County. The idea was, though, that they would have a team that would be ready to compete, and it doesn't seem like that will be the case unless they go out and spend a lot of money this offseason. And even then, that's not a sure thing.
Yeah, I was talking to Don Sutton about the Braves this year, and he really described them as an expansion team.
The 2-0 pitch.
They've signed a boatload of young pitchers and got young pitching in return, but really nobody is distinguishing themselves in the minor leagues or up here at this level.
A lot of teams looking at the blueprint of the Cubs and Houston and how they rebuilt to completely gut the franchise of payroll and veterans, stockpile prospects, get high draft choices. That's how they built back up, and it happened in a hurry. So 2 walks in this game and 2 in the inning for De La Cruz.
It's also what's remarkable about the Cardinals is they still continue to have a championship caliber team. They've gone to the postseason 5 straight times, a franchise high, and yet they don't think in terms of, well, let's have some really big losing seasons so we can get top draft picks. They believe in their farm system. They believe in their scouting department to go out and get guys that, you know, when you get in the later rounds that can still come in help, and you can develop them into championship caliber players.
There was a shot there of Dan Farrell in between John Mozeliak on the right, Michael Gersh, the assistant GM, on the left. 2 outs and 2 on. Here's Jaime Garcia. Garcia, base hit into right. Here comes Holiday. The throw from right field is not in time, and it's 1-0 St. Louis as the throw is cut off by Freeman, and Jaime Garcia drives in the first run tonight.
His 4th RBI of the year, and helps his own cause. Anytime you see that ball go out to Francoeur, you're always wondering about his tremendous throwing arm and his ability to gun down hitters or runners. So you better be hustling all the way when the ball's out to right field. But Freddie Freeman cut that ball off and did the right thing. Had no chance of getting Holiday, and almost had a chance to get Hazelbaker over at third.
Now it's Carpenter with runners at first and third.
Francoeur leads the majors with 132 outfield assists since the start of 05.
That's a bunch.
His first year in the big leagues. And number 2 on that list is his teammate Markakis, who has 100.
They said that when Jeff Francoeur was in high school, and think about how rich the state of Georgia is with athletes, in particular football players, that he's one of the best ever to come out in football, the high school ranks in Georgia. Carpenter, a ground ball right to Freeman, and St. Louis strands 2, but they get a 2-out base hit from Jaime Garcia. We played 2. 1-0 Birds. The warm-up tosses here for the top of the third. His base hit has made it 1-0 St. Louis. Big crowd and a beautiful night here at Busch Stadium. Talked about it so many times. That shot right there with the arch in the background, the old courthouse. Greensfelder, one of the top law firms in the country, situated right here in downtown St. Louis. The skyline of the hotels. So many fans make their way to St. Louis, whether it be to see those at Greensfelder or those that come to watch little Cardinals baseball. It's Recker, d'Arnaud, and De La Cruz.
Recker's done a nice job since he's been acquired. Middle of last month, hit .357 for the Braves.
Outfield is straight away. Recker at the plate, and the first pitch is taken for a ball. We hope to visit at some point tonight with former Cardinals outfielder Brian Jordan. He's in town doing some work for his foundation. What a great athlete he was, man.
Oh, no doubt about it, and written a couple children's books.
My understanding is he's working on another book that'll be released within the year. So Brian Jordan will be our guest at some point, we hope tonight. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Hit up the middle, but positioned perfectly. Matt Carpenter. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. By your local Volkswagen dealer. And taste the all-new Jack's Brewhouse Bacon Burger today at Jack in the Box. Limited time only at participating restaurants. Chase d'Arnaud hitting .254.
Very likable young man. Talking to him down on the field. I'm sure we could get Jim Hayes to see if he can audition for his band. Jim could be the lead singer.
Chase's band?
Yeah, he has his own band, and they say that he'll come up in the press box with his guitar and serenade people, and he's just real outgoing. You know, Travis d'Arnaud's brother.
Travis the catcher, and Chase is a shortstop. No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out and nobody on. Remember, this time last year they had Andrelton Simmons one of the top defensive players in the game. He was traded in the offseason to the Angels. Eric Ibar coming the other way. Ibar is on the bench tonight.
And they've been kind of disappointed in Ibar. He was never going to be their shortstop of the future, but they thought he would kind of be able to play offensively and defensively this year to get them to that point. As you said, with Swanson, and then they have another shortstop that's at AAA that they're very high on. Swanson's still like an A-ball.
The view from behind home plate, you'll see some of that movement of Jaime Garcia. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Look at that. That's a curveball in the major leagues. 3rd strikeout for Jaime Garcia. Reminder that this Sunday, 12,000 kids ages 15 and younger entering with a ticket receive a replica Matt Carpenter batting practice jersey, courtesy of Powerade and Shop and Save. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Those Sundays, all kinds of things to do for the kids. You get here early. There's free ice cream in the Ford Plaza. The Carpenter BP jersey giveaway. Many times it's a run the bases day too.
So you run the bases to the ice cream.
It's one way to do it. Joel De La Cruz 1 for 5 this year. Ground ball foul. Well, you're right, Al. I mean, we have been so lucky basically the last 22 years or so. Cardinals have not been in a rebuild mode. Competitive. The McGuire experience brought a lot of fans and interest.
You mentioned it the other day, and it's still mind-boggling, but Cardinals only had finished last like 1 time since 1913 or something like that.
That's right. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Another big crowd on this Friday night. Studded MLB showdown on FS1. Big Papi and the Red Sox against Adrian Gonzalez and the Dodgers. Action begins tomorrow at 3, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. We'll be back with you on Fox Sports Midwest tomorrow. Carlos Martinez getting the call for the Cardinals. Reminder, it is a 6:15 first pitch Sunday at 1:15. Then the Reds will be here for the first of 3. 6-game homestand beginning tonight. Greg Garcia lined out to center. He'll lead it off, followed by Steven Piscotty, who singled to left, and Brandon Moss, who grounded out. Cardinals offense has not been the issue this year. They've hit for power. They've scored a ton of runs. hit and miss, though, at times. They had no extra base hits yesterday. First time since July 5th, and only the 6th time all year in 108 games.
Shut out 6 times. 6 and 6 in shutouts, but you're right. High scoring ball club.
You just feel that there is a sense of urgency coming back home, winning games at home. So important, obviously, but also with the wild card race as tight as it is. When you have teams like Atlanta and Cincinnati and you're at Busch Stadium, you have to take advantage of these games.
No doubt about it. And it's something the Cardinals have always done. You know, they just dominate in the weaker teams in their division or through the league. And then you play 500 or a little better against the good ball clubs.
3-1 the count. De La Cruz has walked 2, both coming in the 2nd inning. And one of those walks, Holiday, came around to score on the 2-out base hit by Garcia. Pitching coach with the Atlanta Braves, Roger McDowell.
Didn't see Roger today, but I talked to Terry Pendleton. Kevin Seitzer, who's from this area. Even Snicker was from outside of Decatur, Illinois. And I saw one of the old Gator Gar, Ralph Gar, who was a scout with the Atlanta Braves. He was in uniform before the game.
One of the famous hits in the 1980s, Terry Pendleton's home run at Shea Stadium off of Roger McDowell. And we were talking about Brian Jordan trucking Gary Bennett that caused a knee injury when those two were playing against each other. And the incident isn't even talked about. At fantasy camp, it's not brought up. It's not something that either one engages the other in about. And my understanding is that Pendleton and McDowell have not talked about that home run. Now, from Roger's perspective, I get it. Terry's perspective, it was a classic home run.
Oh, boy. Dead center field against a sinker baller. And McDowell was a good sinker ball pitcher.
That pitch taken high, and now the catcher, Anthony Recker, wants to visit with De La Cruz, maybe settle him down.
Well, he's walked 3, and remember, this is just his 4th start. He wasn't in a rotation until mid-June, even at the minor league level. So, you know, as I said, his last time out, he threw 4 1/3 shutout innings, but ran out of gas. So these walks will be problematic.
Runner at first is Garcia. 1 ball, no strikes on Stephen Piscotty.
Recker is 1 for 12 and throwing out base stealers, so that may be something to keep an eye on. Cardinals don't run much, but you got to take it. See, if you get a good jump, you got to take advantage of it.
And the 1-0 pitch. High fly ball out to deep left. That'll stay in the ballpark. Making the catch in front of the track is Matt Kemp. And Piscotty is 1 for 2. Showed you the shot of the Braves bench. Also inside that dugout, long-time Major League catcher A.J. Pierzynski.
I was talking to A.J. and had a nice little conversation with him. Hit 300 last year. Been a few years since he'd done that, but said he still enjoys it, having fun. Said we aren't very good. We don't win a lot of ball games, but you know, very, very well respected. And I know you and I both have the same feel. We really, really enjoyed it when he was with the Cardinals.
Agreed. Joined the Cardinals. Molina got hurt a couple of years ago. Brandon Moss at the plate. Popped up left side. Garcia over, and oh, what a catch! An amazing play by Adonis Garcia.
How about the throw?
Wow, what a play. Adonis Garcia, an amazing catch here at Busch Stadium.
Like Jeff Porter, their trainer, tried to go in there to make sure he's okay, but had the presence of mind to from his back seat after he makes this great play right over the top, flies into the seats there. Look at him throw the ball back in there. He's okay. You know, Dan, Garcia earlier this year, you know, he's a third baseman, but at the beginning of the season, he made 7 errors in the first 21 games. They sent him to the minor leagues to learn to play left field. He at first was a little upset with it, but then he understood the reasoning. He went down, they brought him back up, and he's never played an inning in left field. They put him right back at third base, and they said his defense has really improved.
You think about being on the road, not all that familiar, certainly with the dimensions of the ballpark and how much foul territory you have. That adds to the greatness of that catch.
And you got all these little low walls that, you know, if you're running hard and you charge there and you hit your thigh and you go right over the top of it.
Also a heads-up play was Greg Garcia, who tagged up from first to second. He knows it's foul, so no other place to go but to go to the bag at first and have the potential to tag up, and he did that.
Very, very smart. I'm sure Billy Miller was yelling at him and helping him out there because you lose sight of him, the fielder.
What a great play. Nice ovation from the St. Louis crowd. Here is Holiday with 2 outs as Greg Garcia puts himself in scoring position.
Dan, you just brought up something that is so meaningful to all visiting players. You know, that St. Louis fans have that reputation that, sure, they want to see their team win, and they do frequently, but they also can appreciate the skill levels and the hustle of opposing players, and they are noted for giving the ovations when it's deserved, and that was richly deserved.
We were talking to some of those affiliated with the Braves, and they felt that Atlanta might play a little bit better in this series because of the crowd. A little bit more motivation, not playing in front of big crowds at home. Obviously, it's been a terrible year for wins and losses, but you play in front of 40,000 plus, and maybe the Braves would come with a little extra jump here this weekend.
And that's a very good point, too, because we always talk about this great atmosphere. You always have 40-plus fans and how it's a fabulous attitude to keep your spirits up if you're in the dog days of the summer. But it also works for the visiting team, especially, like you said, a club like this that doesn't often get to play in front of these big crowds. They get thrilled to death to come out and watch that, play in this atmosphere.
The 2-0 pitch with 2 outs, runner at second.
And that's the beauty of baseball, where, you know, in other sports the best team's usually going to win, but in baseball it's a team sport with such heavy emphasis on an individual contribution, where you get a pitcher or somebody just has a dream night and they come through and throw a no-hitter, or somebody gets 4 home runs, and that individual competition can take over and change the outcome of a game.
2-1 pitch is popped up. Gordon Beckham, the second baseman for the Braves, puts it away. It's 1-0 Cardinals. As we move to the 4th inning, Adonis Garcia, one of the top plays we've seen here at Busch Stadium in 2016. Tremendous catch by the Braves third baseman. The Mississippi. St. Louis, the Gateway Arch, Busch Stadium. Well, we mentioned that some of the Cardinals are coming back healthy. With more on that, and specifically Trevor Rosenthal, let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, Dan, Trevor had an injection to treat the inflammation in his right shoulder. John Mozeliak says they'll give it a few days and then have Trevor start a throwing program. No timetable for a return at this point. Tyler Lyons has that right knee stress reaction. Mozeliak saying it will keep Lyons out for a minimum of 4 weeks. Mozeliak says if it calms down, they'll get him going. If not, they'll have to be patient and wait it out, Dan.
And then the other guy that really is sorely missed from the left side in that bullpen is Tyler Lyons, who's dealing with a knee issue.
Yeah, as I just said, Lyons has the right knee stress reaction, out for a minimum of 4 weeks. John Mozeliak saying if it calms down after that, they'll get him going, Dan. If not, they're just going to have to be patient and wait it out.
All right, Jimmy, thank you.
A little surprised that Kiekeper was sent down to make room for Matt Carpenter coming off the DL. Kind of like the idea of having a third lefty in that bullpen, and maybe a little more of a situational than Duke and Segrist.
Kiekefer has been up and down, up and down. That's up and in to Inciarte. First walk issued by Jaime Garcia. So the leadoff man is aboard, and again, we'll talk about it. We'll see how he fares, allowing a leadoff man to get on base.
Talked about how Jaime needs to go deep in a game. 5 times in the last 6 games, a Cardinal starter has been unable to record an out in the 6th inning. And because of that, because of the doubleheaders, the 16-inning game, all of a sudden the bullpen got overused, and that's where they've been having some problems too.
Pitch a little bit low to Gordon Beckham, grounded into a 5-4-3 double play back in the first.
Beckham's had 2 stints on the disabled list and hitting under 200 since coming off of the most recent one.
And a check on the runner, Inciarte. 11 steals so far this season. Pittsburgh leads Cincinnati 2-1. The Pirates finished up a series with the Braves in which Andrew McCutchen sat in all those games. Trying to get him on track. Lined into right center field. That drops for a base hit. Inciarte racing to third. And it's runners at the corners and nobody out for Atlanta.
Good piece of hitting there from Beckham, not trying to do too much.
Well, you look at the numbers and you say, well, why is he struggling when a leadoff man gets aboard? And then you try to say, okay, let's break it down. You may recall in spring training, Jaime Garcia skipped a start to work on the backfields, holding runners on, and in particular, delivery to the plate. And so you wonder if sometimes a delivery is rushed, maybe pitches get up with a runner on. But it is something to think about that he's been dealing with basically all season long, all the way back, dating back to spring training.
Yeah, you can worry too much about that runner. It affects your release point and what you do to the batter at the plate.
Freeman taps it foul.
Also seen at times too where, you know, we always are so accustomed to seeing great movement from Garcia, and yet this year it seems like he hasn't had that consistent movement, and hitters are being able to square up the ball a little better against him.
Pitch in the dirt. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks. Freeman did not go after it.
Said for some, a little more discipline against lefties this year and having much better success for Freddie Freeman against left-handed pitching. Came in batting .306.
2-1 pitch. Now 2 strikes. Cardinals had a situation in Cincinnati where they drew the infield in early in innings. This is more of your traditional look. Few steps in by the middle infielders. Moss is holding. Jerko is back at third. 2-2 pitch to Freeman. It's sharply foul.
Even though the Cardinals were shut out yesterday, that little ballpark in Cincinnati, I don't like to see that infield playing in. And I think it also is a reflection here that De La Cruz is pitching well. The Cardinals not doing much against him, but I think Mike Matheny thinks that runs will be more prevalent in this game.
The 2-2. Freeman has dealt with some serious eye issues over the years. Imagine trying to play Major League Baseball and not be able to see the baseball.
He also spent the All-Star break having a cancerous mole removed. Something that he feels like he'll probably have to deal with quite a bit with his fair skin. There's a slider, cutter.
2-2. And he struck him out. Big strikeout here in the top of the 4th. That's 5 for Jaime Garcia.
Late break right there and gets a call.
Brings in Matt Kemp, who's now 1 for 11 wearing that Braves uniform. He had some interesting comments in the Players Tribune, which is the website run by Derek Jeter, which the players themselves write articles to get the word out on what they want to say. And less than kind was Matt Kemp about his time with the Dodgers in San Diego. Was excited to come to Atlanta, and here's a team that's dead last and one of the worst in baseball.
Yeah, apparently the principal owner for the Padres responded to that letter and said, I don't appreciate guys making multiple millions of dollars not giving me a solid effort. So
two-way street, huh?
Yeah, I didn't read the letter, but Don Sutton, the Hall of Famer, said it was a great letter on behalf of Kemp.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Mentioned he's only 1 for 11 with his new ball club, Kemp, but they welcome his 23 home runs. They only have 66 home runs as a team.
Longtime Dodger, that with the surplus of outfielders traded to San Diego, and now here with the Atlanta Braves. The 0-2 pitch. He struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Garcia. This Sunday, Christian Day at the ballpark, presented by Thrivent. After the Cards-Braves game, this year's featured speaker is the 2006 World Series MVP, former Cardinals shortstop David Eckstein. For tickets and more information, visit cardinals.com/Christian Day.
6 strikeouts for Jaime tonight.
Our friend and colleague Rick Horton will be emceeing the events following Sunday's action. That's it out of play.
See, has hit Adonis. He's hit in 20 of the last 23 games at a 370 clip. Got off to a slow start. He's a good little player.
0-1 pitch. Hit off the mound. There is Carpenter, and Garcia pitches out of this jam. First and third, nobody out. Strikeout of Freeman. Strikeout of Kemp. Garcia, the ground out. frozen strawberry lemonade is back, and it's only available at McDonald's. Folks in Big Mac land here tonight. Yadier Molina, Jed Jerko, and Jeremy Hazelbaker for the Cardinals. And what a job moments ago by Jaime Garcia to pitch out of that jam.
Yeah, he did a nice job. Of course, had runners at first and third, and nobody out. Got a pair of strikeouts, and then the ground ball up the middle, get the force out at second. How about Yadi get it started in a big rally? Add to the 1-0 lead.
Cardinals have received 3 walks tonight. They have a pair of base hits and a 1-run lead. RBI from Jaime Garcia to drive in Holiday back in the second inning. Big gap in left center for the Cardinals catcher. High chopper to third. Garcia makes the play, and there's 1 out. Molina 0 for 2. The Atlanta Braves come in with a record of 39-69. It's the worst record right now in baseball. 25 games back of Washington at the start of play tonight. 1 out, nobody on, and Jerko looks at a ball low. Had the great run for so long with the big 3: Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz, all 3 Hall of Famers. Bobby Cox. And talking with some of those with the Atlanta Braves, they mentioned how when Bobby turned it around, it was not only what he did with the big leaguers that came in, but also how he wanted to see players in the minor leagues play what they called Atlanta Braves baseball, play the game the right way, and teaching that, instilling that on their players as they came through the minor leagues.
And I can understand that, because when I went to Atlanta Braves, it seemed like there was a friction between the major leagues and the minor leagues, and they worked against each other. And so I can understand why Bobby wanted to get everybody on the same page, and I'm sure that's, we give a lot of credit to the Cardinal way, because we talk about how a young player enters the Cardinal organization and learns everything that is going to be done from the rookie league to A-ball to AA to AAA, the big leagues. It's all uniform, and you know, that's the way it should be. And Bobby Cox did a tremendous job of getting the club into that cohesive manner and helping each other out.
John Capalella, the general manager, not there, but the previous gentleman pictured in the box up here by us. That's fouled back, and hopefully the gentleman that they're tending to is okay. There's John.
He had a full head of hair when the season started.
Long year, huh?
Their slow start cost Freddie Gonzalez his job, and Brian Snitker, who's been around a long time with the Braves in all different capacities, you know, well deserving this opportunity. And they played, they're 30 games under 500, and I think 11 games under 500 under Brian's tutelage.
3-2 pitch. Jerko pulls it foul. Past Chris Maloney, we get asked all the time. I'm telling you, just about on a daily basis, we are asked about Jose Oquendo. Oquendo will not return to the club this year. Knee replacement surgery. He has been offered a spot with the club in any capacity coming back next year. Third base coach. Does he want to work with the minor leaguers? But looks like we'll hear from Jose before it's all said and done. 3-2 pitch. And a strikeout of Jerko, the second of the night for De La Cruz.
Cardinals only have 2 hits tonight, and one by Garcia, the RBI single. De La Cruz has walked 3. Quite honestly, I'm surprised the Cardinals haven't had more success.
seems like they are taking very comfortable at bats. Pitches that have been up over the middle of the plate. So far, they've not been able to break through. Hazelbaker, ground ball. There's Freddie Freeman. And we have played 4 here in St. Louis. Cardinals go in order. Jaime Garcia back to the mound when we come back to Busch Stadium. Wild card, both those teams. Cardinals with a lead of 1-0. Thank you, Scotty. Jeff Francoeur, Anthony Recker, and Chase d'Arnaud. Francoeur was called out on strikes first time up. Pitch that looked to be a ball went against him. That pitch looked to be a strike, and it goes in his favor. Hear it all the time, the various stops that Francoeur has had in his career. One of the real good guys in the game.
Yeah. Very accessible, media friendly.
1 ball, 1 strike on Francoeur. 1-2. He first got to the big leagues. Teams could not get him out.
Well, you remember too, having those discussions with people in Georgia and said he was the best athlete.
And he strikes out, and that's 7 tonight for Jaime Garcia. He has struck out 3 of the last 4. More on Jaime Garcia. Our lows. Home field advantage. 11 starts at home, and I think it's a bit surprising to see the ERA of 3.68. Respectable, but usually it's under 3. On the road, it's over 5.
Yeah, he's you know, normally we always talk about, oh, he pitches at home, does this, does that, and it's a little bit higher this year than what we were accustomed to seeing.
Here's Anthony Recker. First pitch, a strike as he fouls it back. We go back to that 4th inning. 1st and 3rd, nobody out after the walk-in single with Freeman, Kemp, Garcia coming up. 3 of their top hitters, and Garcia pitches out of that jam. You're thinking at that point Atlanta at least gets 1 run. And the 0-1 pitch.
You know, Dan, you bring up a point too. Have the infield back, you're playing like that. So a lot of times, you know, when you go out there and are going to concede the run, you don't give it up. But when you're trying to play so airtight and you're trying to seal off that run is when you could put up a crooked number.
Trying to be maybe a little too fine. 2-1 to count.
You know, the key was he got the strikeout, and then because he's a ground ball pitcher, you're thinking, okay, he's got his escape route. He can get a double play. Didn't need one because he struck out the second out and then got the ground ball to get the force out.
3 balls and a strike. See Garcia all the time. He'll go down to the dirt as he does just a moment ago, and does that with his pitching hand these hot nights in St. Louis. Does that to get a little better grip. That is ripped out to left field. 2 hops and off the wall, and a 1-out double for Anthony Recker. 1 for 2 on the night. Just the third base hit allowed by Garcia.
Mentioned the Recker's hit very well, 357 with his 5th double since June 17th when he was signed by the Braves.
Hand gets a little wet with the sweat, so he dries it off, trying to get a better grip on that baseball.
And most people use the rosin bag, but sometimes that gets a little sticky or tacky, and so I'm sure he feels more comfortable using the dirt, and then he'll wipe off to.
Chase d'Arnaud slowly hit to the right side. Moss to Garcia and out. Not an easy throw for Moss, not an easy throw for Garcia to handle.
Yeah, it was a slowly hit ball, and d'Arnaud runs pretty well. That Moss had to fire it to a running target, and Jaime was right there, receives it, steps on the bag. Good play from both ends.
It's Jerry Lane with the call at first base. He is our crew chief, and clearly an out. Hunter Wendelstadt calling the balls and strikes. Stu Sherwater is our second base umpire. Trip Gibson down at third. Here's De La Cruz, and he hits it to second base. Backing up a bit, Matt Carpenter flips over to Moss for the out. The Braves strand another runner, their third of the night. Midway through 5, Redbirds on top. Baseball presented by T-Mobile. Mark Teixeira announces his retirement effective after the end of the season. Bryce Harper, 137 his average since July 8th. And the Giants have lost 13 of their last 20. Their lead is down to 2 in the National League West. Mark Teixeira, what a great career he has had. He did spend some time with the Atlanta Braves. 55th all-time in home runs with 404, 23rd or 123rd in RBIs. And you think about when you go out and sign a preeminent player, what's the return with that player? The Yankees got him prior to the 2009 season. They won a World Series with him. Yankees leading 9-4 over the Indians. And you may recall at the time the Red Sox had made a huge offer to Teixeira, spurned them to go to the Yankees, and that was really a difference maker. And what I found really interesting in looking at some of the research done on Teixeira is how the shift has adversely affected him the last 4 to 5 years.
Really?
He has hit into the shift more than anybody. And it's just taken those numbers and really dropped him. I mean, he had a 9-year period, the first 9 years, where he was a monster. He averaged 35 home runs a season. So the power went down a little bit, but with that, average went down because of the shift and hitting into that. I think it's going to be interesting to see some of the minor leaguers, let's say in 3 to 5 years, and how the shift has affected them. Some of the power hitters and being able to bunt maybe against a shift, learning to hit it the other way as Garcia does that here. That's out to left. Kemp spun around and makes the catch.
Not exactly the way you do it, but as long as it ends up in your glove, so be it. It's not because of his knees. He's not the most agile. And remember, he was an outstanding two-way player, offensively and defensively. All-Star, Gold Glove, MVP candidate. Probably should have won it that 1 year that they gave it to Braun.
He's pretty vocal about that too.
I remember that's when it came out that Braun was PED.
Kemp was playing way in because of Garcia and had to go back to get that. Here's Carpenter, who is 0 for 2. Cardinals used 6 different leadoff men in Carpenter's absence. They combined to hit 227.
Here we were talking about what Kemp was 2011. He had 39 home runs, 126 RBIs, 115 runs. He was an all-star, also a Silver Slugger that year. He's got a Gold Glove.
And he's playing center field at that time for the Dodgers. 1 ball, 1 strike on Matt Carpenter. He is struck out swinging and also grounded out to first.
And I guess when you give his resume, you got to say, who was he dating?
Was it Rihanna at that time?
I think it was Rihanna at that time too, yeah.
The 1-1. At some point, you think the Cardinals get into the bullpen of the Braves, and they've been very good. Atlanta, 6 of the last 9 they have won. And a lot of that is due to the bullpen with an ERA just over 1 in those 9 games. The 2-1 pitch.
Vizcaíno was early in the season, was closing and doing quite well, but then they made the decision they go to the veteran Johnson, as their closer in the second half, and he's done a good job with them lately, closing out games.
And in those 6 of 9 that they've won, Johnson has had 5 consecutive saves. 3-2 the count on Matt Carpenter.
To me, if you're going to expansion team or a team that's really rebuilding, you've got to have a solid closer, because you aren't going to have that many leads. So the times you do have it, you've got to close out those victories, because that's the most demoralizing thing for a team, not being able to finish off a victory.
Taps that foul. 3-2 the count on Carpenter. Most in the National League. The Reds relief losses right after that. The Atlanta Braves, then Miami and Philadelphia. Cincinnati, Atlanta, the Phillies all in rebuild mode. 3-2 pitch. Now I'm going to assume that Miami, many of those relief losses came early in the season, minus Fernando Rodney. A.J. Ramos at times has had some issues.
By the way, the Cardinal bullpen is 16-15.
Don't you think, too, it's not only the closer, but having a couple of veterans that are everyday players. They don't need to be great, but they do need to be guys that have been around the league, know the little things about travel, how you handle yourself with the press, just being a pro.
There's a lot to that, but it's also with many times in today's game, the ninth inning.
3-2 out to center. Ender Inciarte under it for out number 2. Reminder that this Sunday is an ice cream Sunday. Also Christian Family Day here at the ballpark. Get here early. Presented by Prairie Farms.
Many times in today's game, you know, your 7th and 8th inning, the game is really on the line. And it may be still a save situation for the closer in the 9th, but you know, we just recently had a 1-run decision where you had the 8th inning reliever go through 3, 4, and 5 in the order, and then all of a sudden the closer gets the bottom 3 in a 1-run game. Where really the more crucial outing was the 8th place pitcher. So you really need not only that good closer, but you need 2 or 3 good setup guys.
De La Cruz is set down 9 in a row after the walk to Garcia back in the 3rd. Cardinals with a 1-run lead as we head to inning number 6. And great video that we have here. This is the airmen who were deployed in Qatar to support the Airspace Command and Control mission there as a part of the fight by America and her allies against terrorists in the Middle East. And this is the folks that were a part of our This One's For You night. They were deployed just after the new year. Snow was flying here in St. Louis. They come back to some heat here in St. Louis and return more than 7 months later to all their family and friends. We had over 250 family and friends that night for This One's For You, and that is great to see.
Absolutely. Welcome home. And thank you for the job you do.
Inciarte has been on base twice. He has singled and walked. The key moment in this game was his walk, then a single by Beckham. Runners at first and third, nobody out in Atlanta. Saw Freeman strike out, Kemp strike out, Garcia ground out to end that threat. Fly ball lifted out to left field. There's Holiday, and he makes the catch. So here's what we're talking about, the key inning for Jaime Garcia so far, and that was in the 4th.
Strike out of Freeman, and comes back and gets Kemp. And then the ground ball up the middle. Gets out of the inning after the first 2. A A walk and a base hit, had runners at first and third and nobody out.
First time in 3 starts the Cardinals have gotten their starter past the 5th. We've seen them pitch into the 6th but not record an out in those 3 games against the Cincinnati Reds.
Look at Jaime, he's just had 60 pitches, which is pretty remarkable, with 7 strikeouts and a walk.
So if he's not getting a strikeout, it's a lot of early swinging.
Right, and it's been a while since Jaime has gotten past the 6th inning or gotten through the 6th inning.
The 2-0 pitch, ground ball. There's Carpenter, and he makes the play. 2 quick outs, and it brings in Freddie Freeman. Rocket Arms, presented by Rocket Mortgage and Quicken Loans. Most strikeouts per 9 this season. Wacha and Garcia. Michael near 8. Garcia just over 7.
I really don't consider the Cardinals to have a real true strikeout pitcher. They're more ground ball pitchers. And that's better for the team and for themselves. But Jaime came into this, having to worry about Freeman and Kemp back to back, and they're 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, but they were 9 for 24 with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs against Jaime coming into this action.
0-2 the count on Freeman. He has struck out twice, one swinging, the other time looking. The 0-2 pitch by Garcia struck him out. He has struck out Freeman 3 times tonight, and that's a total of 8. First pitch of this sequence was 71 miles an hour. This one changes the eye level. Tied him up 1-0 midway through 6. Class has been selected. Join the Cardinals and Edward Jones congratulating Sam Braden, the former owner, Terry Moore, Joe Torre, Chris Carpenter. That'll be held at Fox Sports Midwest Live right over there. That's where we're going to be. It's open to the public, and it's August 27th. Here's Stephen Piscotty. Terry Moore joined the Cardinals the year after the Gas House Gang won the 1934 World Series. A tremendous center fielder whose career was interrupted by his military service in World War II. Now, he played on teams that featured Mize, Slaughter, Musial, Frisch, and he was the captain of those teams.
That's right.
As Piscotty is out. So many great players had their careers interrupted by their service to our country.
You got at one point it was the outfield was Musial, Moore, and Slaughter.
Yep.
42 team.
Considered one of the top defenders of his era in center field. 4 All-Star appearances and a world champion a couple of times in St. Louis.
Got to know Terry and his lovely wife. Just a great ambassador for the game of baseball, and especially the Cardinals. And just you know, you get around so many of those players, you never know how good they were, because they just, you know, it was all about the current players. And yet, obviously, a lot of people think he should be in the Hall of Fame, along with not the Cardinal Hall of Fame, but the Cooperstown Hall of Fame, the National Hall of Fame. But great recognition. See him in the Cardinal Hall of Fame. What a great idea by the DeWitt family.
I love it.
Long overdue.
Yep. And the idea was that once they bought the franchise, and you did have the Bowling Hall of Fame, which did have some of the artifacts of the past, that once they built this stadium and Ballpark Village, that they would have that Hall of Fame. And so many of our fans come from out of town on the weekends. Make sure you check it out. 3-1 on Brandon Moss. I often wondered if the Cardinals would ever go back to a captain. Some teams do it. It's not prevalent in the game. Terry Moore being the captain of those teams.
Kenny Boyer was the captain in the 60s.
He'd certainly be a logical choice here in 2016. So with the guy on deck, Holliday, maybe a Matt Carpenter. 1 out, nobody on, and a 3-2 pitch. Good cut by Moss.
You know, in so many ways today, managers want so much team control. Where it used to be in the old days, you had a captain because a manager expected the team to police themselves. You know, when I was here, you know, you had Gibson and you had Torrey and Lou. You know, they didn't have the title, but they were our captains.
And this team knows who are the guys that are the leaders as well. 4th walk by De La Cruz. So the first base runner for the Cardinals since all the way back in the 3rd inning.
4th walk tonight with just 2 base hits.
For many years, it was Derek Jeter as the captain of the Yankees. Jason Varitek in Boston wore the C.
It just seems like the iconic franchises are the only ones that really should have a captain. Team with very little history. It just seems like it's a little misplaced.
So 1 out, runner at first. 1-0 Cardinals. Holliday has walked and scored. Also popped out with the runner at second. Big gap into left center. Check swing and a strike.
Mike Matheny has his core group of team leaders that you know, a sounding board for him.
Wainwright, Molina, Holliday, Carpenter.
I can imagine how many grievances you could have with the unbelievable travel today and the salaries. Just be happy and go play ball.
Here's an 0-1 pitch to Matt Holliday. Braves now with activity in their pen. Ramirez, the right-hander. Cervenka, the lefty.
Cervenka got his first major league win yesterday. Have a chance to have 3 major league wins in a row. third one would be at our expense. So let's stop it at 2.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. De La Cruz is approaching 80 pitches on the night.
Humid, and like I said, on Sunday he pitched in Philadelphia and only went an inning and a third.
Could be in the rotation for at least a few more starts. Tehran, the lat strain. Williams Perez, right rotator cuff tendonitis. John Gant, oblique issue, all on the DL.
And I think Gant's the only one that has started a rehab.
That's right.
So he's probably the first one to come back.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. In that previous start for De La Cruz, he only threw 62 pitches. The idea tonight, if things are going the way of the Braves, and I'm sure they're thrilled, if they got to around 90 pitches with him, they'd be happy.
Oh, sure. And Victor would be very pleased if he gets through this inning and just down by 1. I think that's would be about as much as he could expect from him.
Here's a 3-1 pitch to Holiday. He walked him. So back-to-back walks following the ground out by Piscotty. That's a total of 5, and that may be it. We'll see. Got the right-hander getting loose. You would assume that's for Molina and Jerko, the lefty for Hazelbaker. Cardinals, though, could always counter. They've got Peralta, Pham, Rosario from the right side, Wong and Adams from the left side.
The human night going 5 1/3.
Braves had about a 90-minute rain delay in their game last night. Got into St. Louis about 3:30 this morning. So that'll be it for De La Cruz. And this is our Chevy call to the pen. It'll be Jose Ramirez. He'll come in with runners at first and second. 1 out. Molina coming up. Yankees as an amateur free agent back in 2007. He was part of the Dustin Ackley deal with Seattle. Braves picked him up. And here's his Hyundai pitch arsenal. Fastball, slider, and change. And he'll come in with runners at first and second. And only 1 out. Molina 0 for 2. He's flied to left and grounded out to third.
Ramirez was acquired by the Braves from Seattle in exchange for a player to be named later. Ended up being Ryan Harper, December of last year.
And the first pitch taken for a ball.
His contract was selected on July 28th, his second stint with the Braves. Made the opening day roster and then was sent back on April the 11th.
He was a part of a little history this year in the minor leagues, a combined no-hitter.
He's made 4 scoreless appearances since returning.
It was he, Rob Wooten, who's had some major league experience, Matt Marksberry for the AAA affiliate of the Braves, June 30th. And then in late July, as Al told you, he was called up. 2 balls and no strikes. 3-0.
It's like that real loose arm, kind of looks like a typical Latin player that probably could pitch every day. He's out of the Dominican Republic. Spent a little time with the Yankees in 14 and 15 and did reach Seattle last year.
Bases loaded for the Cardinals. 3 consecutive walks. The Cardinals in this game with only 2 hits. After the ground out by Piscotty, walk to Moss, walk to Holiday, which would be the 5th for the starter De La Cruz, and now Ramirez with this walk out of the bullpen. Bases loaded for Jed Jerko.
Well, you see McDowell go out and talk to a young pitcher. I'm sure him saying, hey, don't try and be too fine, just throw the ball down the middle. And boy, that could be a nice first pitch for Jerko. Loves swinging first pitch fastballs. Bases are loaded. You got to assume it's probably going to be a fastball, and I'm sure Jerko will be ready for it.
Piscotty, a base hit in the first, left stranded. The other base hit was in the second by Jaime Garcia. That was a 2-out hit to score Holiday for our lone run tonight, and that is the entire total of hits for the Cardinals here tonight. But they have now received 6 walks, bases loaded, and a chance for Jed Jerko.
The Braves are looking for a ground ball double play.
Jerko looks at a strike. All kinds of room into the gap in left center.
Got the slider on the first pitch.
Gets it on that pitch, taken for a ball.
First pitch, he kind of looked like he kind of aimed it. This one, he kind of let it go again, and it's out of the strike zone.
Bases loaded, the 1-1.
Low strike, and it goes the Braves' way.
The Chevy Fox Tracks, a low strike called on Jerko. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
There's 3 straight sliders. Well, he wastes the fastball up.
The next 2, Jerko. Did he go? No, he did not.
There's the fastball up, trying to change the eye angle, and it almost came through with a swing.
Cardinals may have caught a break.
A lot of times you see that side view, and it looks like a batter almost always goes through. 2-2. Don't really want to go 3-2 with the bases loaded. So this is the pitch right here.
Jerko with a fly ball, shallow into right. It is Francoeur who makes the catch. Runners tag, throw to the plate. It's a double play. Jeff Francoeur guns out Brandon Moss. A 1-hopper and a strike to the plate. Indecision between Inciarte and Francoeur as to who would take it. It's Jeff Francoeur and a bullet to home. It stays 1-0. Francoeur, old hat for the right fielder. I'm not sure why there's even indecision as to who takes this ball, because Francoeur, as we've talked about, owns a cannon for a right arm.
And that is his 133rd assist, outfield assist. And all coming since he made his major league debut back in 2005. He's the leader in that department. His teammate Markakis is 100. That's second most of any active player, but you're right. And of course, with Francoeur about a foot taller than Inciarte, I think he was going to win that one all the way.
So Garcia back to work. He has struck out 8, allowed just 3 hits. Cardinals miss a very good opportunity to add to their lead.
And Dan, this is where, as a pitcher, you know, you can't worry about what your offense did or didn't do. You just got to concentrate on getting these hitters out. Sometimes, you know, you almost take the attitude, hey, I'm 1-0. I got enough run support, and don't worry about what your offense does.
That's a foul ball by Kemp. So Garcia with the 8 strikeouts. The Cardinals on the other side have received 6 walks and only 2 hits, one of those by their pitcher.
Got the only RBI, Garcia, so he's been the most productive offensive player.
Good tailing action on that pitch. 1-2 the count. Kemp is 0 for 2. He's flied to left and also struck out.
Time 8, only 68 pitches. He's got 8 strikeouts and a walk. Mathematically tough to do. And he's second up next inning.
Late swing by Kemp, and that's strikeout number 9.
How about that swing? Was awkward as can be. Kind of get the idea that it had such good movement that it just totally fooled him. Another breaking ball, and look at him try to swing of the pitch on his belt buckle.
Freddie Freeman, Matt Kemp tonight combined 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts.
And those are the 2 guys that Garcia had to worry about. They were 9 for 14 with 3 home runs, 9 RBIs coming into today's action.
Adonis Garcia looks at a strike. So the Braves have played some defense here tonight. Garcia made a great catch going into the stands. The throw by Francoeur. Here's the 0-1. Off the glove of Garcia, slows it down to the other Garcia. 2 outs.
Hit by Garcia. So all 3 Garcias were in action on that one swing.
And it brings in Jeff Francoeur. Power stats presented by Kubota. With Francoeur at the plate, we take a look at their home run leaders. Kemp, that damage done in San Diego. All of those home runs with the Padres. Then Freddie Freeman, Garcia, Flowers, and Francoeur.
You think the Padres wanted to get rid of Matt Kemp?
Yes, sir.
What did they do with the compensation they got in return? They released Olvera, designated him for assignment, and I think he had something like $30 million left on his contract, but was involved in a domestic violence situation and was suspended for 82 games.
And the Braves receive Matt Kemp, and a portion of that salary, a good chunk, is being paid by both the Dodgers and the Padres.
Yeah, and I think the Braves are going to have to pay $8.5 million of what probably around $20 million contract.
Free agent market is thin this upcoming offseason. The Braves needed a bat, and they figured, well, we can get Matt Kemp. We know we'll get a run producer, pretty reliable, even though he's in the later stages of his career, but we don't have to go out and pay top dollar for that guy. Here's a 1-2. He struck him out. Jaime Garcia, 10 strikeouts through 7 innings. Time to stretch in game 1 of this 3-game set. Only will you find seats you'll love whenever you want. You can find the best seat for your buck when you sort by the best value. So get the StubHub app today. This is the Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. See a pinch hitter here with the lefty up and now pitching for the Atlanta Braves. It'll be Tommy Pham to counter this lefty. Hunter Cervenka.
Cervenka, as I said, got his first major league win last night. It's been quite the find for them. Lefties are batting .153 against him. Righty's not too much better at .212.
So here is Tommy Pham off the bench for the Cardinals here tonight. Garcia on deck and then the top of the lineup. First pitch is fouled back. Brought up a great point about the Cardinals pinch hitters, and it's a strong suit of this club in a big way. Think about their hitting coach John Mabry, and much of his career comprised of being this type of player, especially late.
Yeah, we were talking in the break about having a veteran presence, somebody that could really guide some of the younger players, and I mentioned that Mabry is a perfect sounding board for young hitters to talk to, and now with the facilities that you have, that you got the batting cages right in off the dugout, so you can go down there and have your assistant hitting coach, Derek May in this case, throw BP or have somebody throw BP to hitters, get those pinch hitters ready, and Cardinal pinch hitters have been phenomenal this year.
Derek May, the assistant hitting coach, and you don't see him very often in the dugout, putting in a lot of video work and behind the scenes, as Al mentioned, BP. It's been a nice addition to the Cardinals staff. The 2-1 pitch to Tommy Pham. I would assume, Al, this is the kind of time of year where, as a staff, you're asking your players to just grind through it. This is a tough portion of the season.
And of course, when you have something to play for, it's a lot easier to show up at the ballpark every day.
3-1 pitch. That is the 7th walk the Cardinals have picked up. They have only 2 hits tonight and leading 1-0. So Garcia will be asked to bunt, we would assume, in this spot. And Garcia back in the second inning with 2 outs. This base hit to right to score Matt Holliday. Francoeur has thrown out one man. That was Moss at the plate, but could not get Holliday. That's a lone run in this game.
The Cardinals, who normally are so good with runners in scoring position, they've had base runners all over. They're stranded 6, but see if Jaime can't get Pham into scoring position.
Squares to bunt, pushes it to third. Garcia to second, out. They do get the lead man. Aggressive play, Adonis Garcia, and the move pays off.
Hit the ball too hard. Looks like Mike Matheny's trying to notify them he wants to look. Have David Bell in the video department to check it out at second base, but it looked like Adonis with that strong throw. Jaime just bunted it too hard. So he got to the third baseman too quickly. No chance for Pham. It's a lot closer than it looked to the naked eye.
Well, despite all the walks issued to the Cardinals, the defense of the Braves has stood out. You had the catch by Garcia in the stands, a throw by Francoeur, part of a double play last inning, and now that play aggressive to get the lead runner. Here is Carpenter. His return to the lineup has seen him hitless in 3 plate appearances. He shows bunt, and it's strike 1.
Kind of glad he missed it. Want to see him swing away, but you don't get the thought in the minds of the defense. And we'll see if Garcia over at third base, playing in, may open up some hitting lanes for Carpenter to go the opposite way. Shortstop just standing on second base bag.
1 ball, 1 strike. That's d'Arnaud, who's, well, a moment ago literally was standing on the bag.
Got a lefty on the mound, so he's kind of almost standing right behind where his arm, the lefty's arm being releases the ball.
I have to think that would be a distraction to the hitter.
I'm thinking that too, and maybe a little gamesmanship and smart.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. It's the type of pitch right there where Carpenter, ball gets deep and you don't see him overcommit to the pitch. Is able to hold up.
You know, he did have 4 games of rehab, but you're not seeing the same caliber of pitching at the Double-A level as what you see up here. Guys may throw just as hard, but usually don't have the breaking pitches or the ability to throw them at any point in the count.
The 2-1. Three and 1 the count. Runner at first. Here's Jaime Garcia.
Carpenter knows that strike zone so well, and you got to believe he's going to get a pitch that he can drive. If he doesn't, either take it, didn't want the slider, fastball in.
And the 3-1. Carpenter in the air, out to left. Matt Kemp near the line and makes the catch. 2 outs, brings in Garcia. So here we are at the bottom of the 7th. The last Cardinal hit was in the 2nd inning by Jaime Garcia.
Somehow Cervinka, this doesn't sound like he should be from Baytown, Texas.
Since that time, the Cardinals have received 5 walks. 2 outs, runner at first. Crowd tonight 42,421. 4-2-4-2-1. A muggy night here in the Gateway City. No balls and a strike on Greg Garcia. Little chopper to first. Freeman backhands. He'll take it himself. Cardinals have left 7 on in this game. We head to the 8th. Garcia back to work with a 1-run lead. Yep. 75. That's it. 55 have been strikes. First pitch strikes. 15 of the 24 hitters he has seen. Tommy Pham stays in the ball game in center field after he pinch hit. He checks on the contacts, which has been an issue for him over the years. A serious issue for him. If you're wondering, career high in strikeouts for Jaime Garcia is 13, and he did that earlier this year when he tossed that one hitter against Milwaukee in a Thursday day game here at Busch Stadium. He has struck out 10 here tonight.
Well, he's pitching on an extra day's rest. Obviously a lot more effective than on short rest that he tried to pitch in Miami. It didn't work, but today, because of that extra day of rest, he's been outstanding.
8th inning, Anthony Recker, Chase d'Arnaud, and then a pinch hitter. 7, 8, and 9. 6
outs to go. Mental countdown for a pitcher. And look at that, just 76 pitches thrown.
Good changeup as Kevin Siegrist is getting loose. Recker with a double to left field back in inning number 5. A total of 5 hits in this game. 3 for the Braves, 2 for the Cardinals.
Last hit that Jaime gave up was the double to Recker.
It's a base hit by Inciarte to start this game. First inning, Gordon Beckham. A single in the 4th and the double by Recker to left field in the 5th, and that's been it. 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. And the 0-2.
A few breaking balls that got a little bit of a hump in them, but some of them have been just high enough to where the hitter can't do any damage with it.
1-2 pitch, pulled foul.
Great to see Jaime pitching this deep into a ball game, this effective. He's been unable to finish the 6th inning in any of his past 3 starts. And he hadn't been the only one. That's been kind of the bugaboo for the Cardinals of late. Starters not going deep.
1-2 pitch. 2-2. Right now you wonder about how long the leash is for Jaime Garcia. Leadoff man gets aboard, walk, base hit. Do they go to the reliable Kevin Siegrist, or is this Jaime's to win or lose?
I don't think you can say it's his to win or lose, but obviously getting the first man out in an inning is going to be real key in his 11th strikeout.
He struck out for the last 5 he has seen, and that's strikeout number 11.
There you see the bottom fall out, the movement with the normally talk about. When he keeps the ball down, it has that good sink or run.
There's Chase d'Arnaud, 0-for-2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Jed Jerko near the line playing in. So is Moss at first base. First pitch is high. And you talk to any manager, a lot of times that move is based on feel and just watching to see if pitches are up late innings, even if a pitch count is low, which is the case here for Garcia at 82. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now we talk about a pitcher laboring. There's only 1 inning where he really had to labor through it, and that was the 4th inning where he walked the leadoff man. Then Beckham got the base hit to put runners at first and third and nobody out.
Foul ball way out in front. 2 strikes.
But in that inning, then he struck out Freeman and Kemp, and then got a ground ball out up the middle. Forced play at second base, so he has really been in cruise control. But obviously, there's no margin for error in a 1-0 game.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. How about strikeout number 12? Took it, the ground ball to third. Jed Jerko, 2 down. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Markakis will pinch hit here with the lefty on the mound. Markakis, the normal right fielder.
But he hits lefties very well in his career. Had a game against the Cardinals earlier this year. Garcia on the mound, and he was hitting rockets everywhere. 2 outs and bases loaded.
0 for 3 last night, and that snapped a 7-game hitting streak. He had a 385 and a 485 on base percentage during that streak.
So he's 3 for 9 against Jaime. Nobody on. 2 outs, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 Cardinals. One ball, 1 strike. Markakis, not known much for his power in terms of home runs, but a lot of doubles.
He leads their ball club with 27 doubles. And he's been very productive with runners in scoring position this year. Here batting 2 down, nobody on base.
The 2-1 pitch to Nick Markakis. Ground ball. Carpenter is there. Jaime Garcia is through 8. Will he go 9? 1-0 St. Louis. Is brought to you by Bud Light Live and by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Beautiful night here in St. Louis. The pitching of Jaime Garcia, outstanding. 89 pitches, 64 strikes. Seung-Hwan Oh is throwing in the pen. We'll see if he'll get the 9th, or does it get to Jaime Garcia for 1 more inning. Piscotty, Moss, and Holiday, and this is our Chevy called to the pen.
This is Cabrera is the 2nd hardest thrower to Chapman in the major leagues.
Mauricio Cabrera.
Last year he was at Double-A. He's only 22 years of age, but they say sometimes he has no clue of where it's going.
101 on the gun. That would make for an uncomfortable at bat if he gave that scouting report. 2nd hardest thrower at the big leagues, and sometimes no idea where it's going.
So his command is a lot better than it was a year ago, but got that from Sutton.
On a hop to second baseman Gordon Beckham. Before this game is through, the Atlanta Braves will have Inciarte, Beckham, and Freeman. Garcia, by the way, has set down 11 in a row after the double back in the 5th. He has struck out 11 on the night and allowed just 3 hits. The Cardinals with just 2 hits and 1 run in their last 20 innings. That was in the 5th inning of Game 2 against the Reds. 1 out, nobody on.
And they say that Cabrera is averaging 100.7 miles per hour with his fastball and is tied for the highest average pitch velocity in baseball. He's registered to pitch this season at 103.8.
See if Moss could center one of those, and who knows how far it would go.
But you know, I mean, it's everybody seems like they have 1 or 2 guys coming out of that bullpen now that has the potential to throw near triple digits.
2 balls and 1 strike.
You know, in the old days when you had the radar guns, they would register when the ball reached home plate. Now they register at the release point, so you get that little higher average, but still, you're throwing that much harder than anybody else. And the hitters will tell you how good your fastball is. If you're coming out of that bullpen and hitter's only getting 1 crack at you a night, you know, it's tough to catch up. Put the guy in the bullpen in the rotation, and eventually they'll time it.
The 2-2 pitch on the outside corner, strikeout of Moss. Kind of goes to what we were talking about yesterday with Alex Reyes. Yeah, the ERA is above 5 as a starter AAA, but get him out there for 3 outs could be awfully effective.
And you can see why Moss questioned that one, like 6 or 7 inches outside.
Holiday has received a pair of walks. The Cardinals with a total of 7 walks in this game, but only 1 run. That doesn't happen very often. Fastball and a strike. And Holiday thought that was low.
3 walks in the 6th inning. Cardinals couldn't score. When they did score, they had 2 walks and then the base hit by Garcia to give himself a 1-0 lead. And that's where we are tonight.
Well, for years, the Braves saw a starter go 9 innings, throw under 100 pitches, pick up a win. The trio of Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz. Right now, we may see that with Jaime Garcia tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-2.
Miami has a 1-0 lead on Colorado in Mile High City.
Here's a 1-2 pitch inside to Holiday. Again at 101 on the gun.
Miami and the Cardinals are tied for the 2nd wild card currently, and both involved in a 1-0 game.
2-2 the count on Holiday. Seeing all these young, hard-throwing relief pitchers everywhere in baseball. More commonplace to see guys hitting 98, 99, 100. Holiday lifts a fly ball into center. We will head to the 9th. Will it be Jaime Garcia to try to pick up his 5th career complete game? We'll find out. 1-0 St. Louis. So here is our answer. 89 pitches for Garcia. And Mike Matheny with the top of the lineup coming up. Turns it over to Seung-Hwan Oh.
Well,
I thought that Garcia would at least get a batter. You know, if he got on, then you go to your pen, but that's not the case here tonight.
And it might have been the case too that Jaime said, I've had enough. There was only 89 pitches, 64 of them were strikes. But a lot of times it kind of fools a closer, thinking that. And you know, the other thing is too, Dan, you know, relievers today start innings. And so, you know, you may be in a situation where Mike Matheny goes, if you get one guy on, I'm going to bring O in, but they're not characteristic to pitching with runners on base. You know, so it's whether it was Mike's decision or whether Jaime said, you know, hey, I've had enough. We don't know. We'll find out.
1 ball, 1 strike on Inciarte, on base twice. The 1-1 pitch, check swing, he did go.
I think we both would love to see Jaime go out there and at least try to get the complete game. But
no doubt,
pitchers don't, you know, they don't get rewarded for complete games like they used to.
1-2 the count. The next by O. Well, I mentioned that this is rare when a team gets 7 or more walks and scores only 1 run. Cardinals franchise history, it's happened 45 times. They've won 2 of the 45. The 1-2. Line to third, and the catch by Jerko. The all-important first out here in the 9th. Carlos Martinez gets the call tomorrow in Game 2. It's our Budweiser What's on Tap. Start number 21. He's 10-6. ERA is now under 3. We'll come your way at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:15 with our first pitch here from Busch Stadium tomorrow night. That's your Budweiser What's on Tap.
Boy, how about the Cardinals' luck continues with that line drive and speared by Jerko.
So Jaime Garcia here tonight gives the Cardinals 8 strong, and I mean strong innings. He looked terrific. Strikes out 11. When he left the game, he had retired 11 in a row and only 1 walk allowed to go along with 3 hits.
Remember the leadoff base hit by Inciarte, who extended his hitting streak to 16 games, and then he was erased by a double play off the bat of this batter, Beckham.
Cardinals, by the way, 2 hits total in this game, their last coming in the 2nd inning. And it's another game in which they do not have an extra base hit.
And Dan, how about this? If the Cardinals hold on to win this game 1-0, it will be only the 2nd time in 30 games that they've won scoring less than 3 runs.
And a high fly ball lifted out to center. There's Tommy Pham. 2 down. And let's turn to tonight's Budweiser player of the game, Jaime Garcia. 8 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk as he strikes out 11, 2 shy of his career high, which was 13 in his complete game against Milwaukee earlier this year. Fans on their feet.
Cardinal fans have been waiting for this type of game at home.
Here's Freddie Freeman.
For a long time. Freddie Freeman, tough night, 3 strikeouts on the night.
And the 1-0 pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. The 2-0 pitch. 2-1. Now the 2-1. Freeman, a mighty hack, pops it foul. The Braves down to their final strike. The 2-2.
inside pitch there. Don't like to see those inside pitches where a home run hitter can hurt you. Now, didn't want the change-up. It's a slider.
3-2 pitch, fouled back.
There's a slider backdooring it. Pitching tendencies have really changed, but Bob Gibson would tell you he never wanted to throw an inside pitch or a home run could beat you.
The 3-2. Freeman spoiled it.
Change up there.
On deck it is Matt Kemp. We are in the top of the ninth. 3-2 the count. The next by O. Struck him out. The Cardinals take game one. They have only 2 hits. Only 1 run. It was just enough. St. Louis wins it 1-0.
Outstanding baseball game from a pitching standpoint. Offensively, the Cardinals would love to have done more, but sometimes you have to have this type of game, a pitching game like this, and it was outstanding. Jaime was outstanding, no picks up to save, and the Cardinals win only for the 2nd time when scoring less than 3 runs. They are now 2-28 with less than 3 runs.
The big hit in this game, Jaime Garcia did a little bit of everything tonight. The 11 strikeouts and with 2 outs. 2nd inning, this base hit, the lone run.